What is going on, everyone? We're back with another post-commentary shenanigans action here. Going to be going up against a Thor play here with Oranos. I'm not exactly sure who this is. They're currently 1880, basically, at my rating. So it's a very, very close matchup, so to speak. I'm playing as Oranos, and this is... I played this game maybe like a week or two ago, and I just was kind of sitting on this game going, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to put this up on YouTube? I'm going to delete it. But I was looking at it and going, you know what? I think a post-commentary here and just explaining some thought process behind this, talking about Oranos in general and why I think he's really, really good at the moment, would make for a pretty interesting conversation. So firstly, let's talk about the state of Oranos and why I think this god is actually quite good despite having a very low play rate at the moment. And maybe you guys can start using him for your own success and making my ladder experience even more miserable. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, Oranos here, the thing that is making him really, really strong is twofold. So one is Oceanus and the effectiveness of Caladria to effectively eliminate any sort of early game problems that Atlantean has. It's really, really good, and it's not the only option. You can go through Prometheus as well and have a very similar experience utilizing Valor to sort of protect yourself against a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, the Oceanus is a little bit more oppressive, I'd say. Now, there's the other thing that is really good with Oranos is the again with the Caladria, is that you can use this unit to make it really, really challenging to use throwing axemen. Like, your opponent can't attack move with their throwing axemen or with their archers if you've got a Caladria at the front moving back and forth, dodging arrows or axes. So those two things are incredibly strong. Now, we can keep going down the list, and I do want to bring up one thing that allows Oranos to have a little bit more success than, say, maybe Gaia or definitely Kronos is Empyrean speed inside of the temple. This is a unique technology to Oranos, which boosts infantry move speed by 10%, I believe. And I think it takes the Murmillo up to 5.0 speed, which is really, really quick for an infantry unit, which basically means all of a sudden you've now got an incredible threat for raiding. And if you then sort of combine it with Shockwave, now all of a sudden, with Shockwave and Bite of the Shark, all of a sudden, doesn't matter how good your opponent is, you're going to get some villager kills early on. So effectively, the way that I see it is Oranos is just ahead from the get-go, and it's just going to come down to Oranos playing a good game to be able to find wins against everyone. Now, a lot of the kind of community of Age of Mythology top players that I talk to are saying that this matchup is quite challenging for Oranos, and I don't disagree. I think this is probably the most challenging matchup for Oranos in the game versus Thor, because Thor has got a lot of tools to keep him alive, and a lot of tools to actually deal with what you've got. Plus, he's also got access to Mithril Breastplate Berserks, which, while they don't necessarily beat the Murmillo 1-to-1, they trade well enough that the Norse economy can carry them through if you just play into it without sort of trying to counter it at all. So effectively, Bite of the Shark, Murmillo are not enough, in my estimate, to find you a win against mass berserks. Now, what can beat mass berserks is twofold. One, I don't have access to in this game, is Promethean, Alluvial Clay Promethean, and two is the Satyr. Now, I don't particularly want to go for myth units against Thor. I don't think anyone should really want to go for myth units against Thor from the get-go, because they can just mass out Herser and get a huge advantage from it. If you get 10 Herser out with the hammer, with the unique Thor upgrade, they just get a ton of favor. and all of a sudden you're just playing into that advantage. So you want to do something different against Thor. So my plan here is to open up with Momillo. I'm making a Momillo hero here. And with the Caladria, I'm more than happy to take early game fights. You can see he's actually scared to fight this because he knows that it doesn't matter what damage he does, I'm just going to heal it back up. And he's not going to, well, he does have healing spring, but he's not going to be able to heal at the same rate as me. So yeah, it's a little bit challenging. One thing here that I should do, and I have incorporated it into my Oranos now, this is kind of, I would say, early days of me experimenting with this. It's only 2 weeks ago, but early days of me kind of experiencing and experimenting with this Civ, this god, is Caladria and getting 2, 3, 4 Caladria out. I've got 4 oracles. I think I didn't get that the 4th one fast enough, but getting out an extra oracle nice and early when you're advancing and just investing early into that 2nd, 3rd Caladria it makes all the difference. So we're trying to break through. He's got a nice little wall onto that wood line. I could shockwave the dwarves over and then kill them. Didn't think about it in this game, but that could have been a really, really nice way to get some early damage onto my opponent. There is also, I will kind of expose it because it is very strong. There is a potential for you if you shockwave villagers on a wood line for them to actually get stuck inside of the forest. So you're not going to be able to kill them, but they're not going to be able to do anything for a while until the wood actually comes out. Obviously, if you have a term, you can kill them, but nonetheless, it's pretty oppressive in my opinion. I do hope that forests can get a little bit more compact and or whatever logic for flying units around the map, you know, they don't land in the center of a forest. Whatever happens, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, gonna still be looking for raids here. He's got nice walls up, so it makes it difficult. If a really, really good Thor player, like your nth level Thor player, potentially here will just be completely walled up. But if all I need here is, all I need here is a raid, effectively, like this. And you see the way that I do this is I wait until the very last moment to click Shockwave. I'm not clicking Shockwave before I go in. I'm waiting for him to move. Because that way I get as close as I possibly can. And if he doesn't react, I'm going to get more damage and then he's going to run away and then I'm going to Shockwave. So if you can catch your opponent out, fantastic. If he catches you running in, no worries. And this little bit of damage is all I need. This is literally all I need to decide, okay, I see his army. I see what he's building. I know that if I just mass units here, this is going to be a difficult situation for me to be in. So I just pull back, and really I should be using my Caladria to just kind of scout where he's at. And I should keep on moving my Momillo around. This is something that the Mister does really, really well when he's trying to, I don't want to say cheese out a age up, but when he's trying to get to the next age when maybe he shouldn't be, he is being active with his army and just try not to lose anything. But now we have gone up through Hyperion. He's putting pressure on, and this is partly because I haven't been putting that pressure on. He's ready to start attacking me. I see he's got a handful of Herso, but they don't matter. And he's got a handful of Thrown Axemen. So now the Thrown Axemen get countered by Chaos and Satyr. I don't really need to build any Toxotes at the moment. I put a lot of villagers onto wood here. I've got myself up to 5 oracles now. I'm already floating 80 favor, and I'm ready to just pump out these Satyrs and say, let's go. I'm ready to take some fights. And I just need more Momillo. I probably should have medium infantry here as well, but in the grand scheme of things, I've got the important upgrade, Bite of the Shark. Medium infantry isn't that important, and I'm just trying to get myself enough Satyr here that I can beat this army, because it's a strong army, but I got Chaos as well. And I guess the one thing to be concerned with, or one thing to keep in the back of your mind, is that Thor has got flaming weapons. Chaos counters flaming weapons, but well, in this situation, he's got too many units to be in the heroic age. So I know I'm completely fine here to to take this fight, use Chaos, and call it a day. I get a really, really clean Chaos on top of the thrown action. This is the correct way to use Chaos in 2025, is on less units. And you do that, and all the thrown axemen can't really do anything. My Seitu are going to be able to clean up everything else. He has to retreat away. And we have successfully gotten away with our heroic gauge. And with that comes a huge advantage to come here. So all we need to do now is be concerned with flaming weapons. So stop producing Satyr, get my favor back up to 60 for the second cost of Chaos, because I need that to deal with the flaming weapons. Now if he goes for Frost, he goes for Frost. But yeah, we're just trying to basically get everything in. Gemini, the technology for the Satyrs is really, really good. I think I forgot Empyrean Speed in this. Yeah, I did. I forgot Empyrean Speed in this one. Obviously, it didn't matter in this game, but all it would have done is assist me here with early game raids and keeping my units alive. But yeah. So the next part here is we're just playing Age Mythology. A lot of players right now are saying that, you know, Thor Norse has an insane late game. I don't believe that Atlantean's late game is at all weak. So I'm not in any sort of, or at the very least, I don't believe that Atlantean becomes weak in a game until 25, 30, 35 minutes into the game, if they ever do. Especially Oranos, who's, I'm not in this game, but, you know, Oranos can go Theia and can go Hekate, and that can be like a really, really huge boost to population with the Dryads and Super Dryads at that, getting the technology, or the technologies unique through Hekate, Celerity, and Mythic Rejuvenation. It makes those really, really strong. Nonetheless, I've gone through Hyperion here, so we are on somewhat of a timer, but I'm happy to grab a town center. I'm happy to get some booming here. He does go for a nice little raid at the moment. I've got all of the defenses in the world. One thing you'll notice that I didn't do here is I didn't use Sky Passages. Against Thor, I really don't care. He's not raiding me, right? I'm the one putting pressure onto him. If I'm taking pressure, then, you know, or I'm in a matchup where I'm taking pressure, say against Egyptian or Greek or even Atlantean, then yeah, let's throw some Sky Passages down. But against Thor, unless I'm going for some sort of cheeky attack somewhere on the side while he's trying to kill me or something, I just don't see the point until much later. I'd much rather have the favor for my myth units, which I really need, and upgrades, and also these god power usages. Shockwave is probably the best archaic god power in the game, and Chaos and Carnivora are also really, really big. So spending a huge amount of favor on Sky Passages is only going to slow down the usages of that. We get another good raid over here. And we have our upgrade. Wow, Chaos is available at the moment. I see his army, and I say, no worries, let's play. I've got to get my villagers to work. I'm very, very slow. I've got 8 idle villagers. No, do something, fix it, hurry up. Stop looking at your army. I mean, the important things right now is that my army's safe, I guess. But nonetheless, we'll move those villagers eventually. Maybe. There we go. God, that was like a minute of idle time. Let's just ignore that. But yeah, so at this point, looking into the left and the right, we're just looking for gold. Going to be looking to grab ourselves a Mythic Age here as well if he doesn't want to fight us, because I will be needing access to Fanatics at some point. He clicks Flaming Weapons. I misclicked my Chaos here. It should have been just on top of the Thrown Axeman at the back. Now, I do get it on top of the Hearse, so they're going to attack each other for a little bit, but in the end there, my army would have been, with the Arcus and everything, would have been completely fine, and we do obliterate the Norse army here. So, I mean, you can definitely see that there is a way through this matchup, and this is a very, very top-level game as well. So, you know, it's going to have a meta, game shifts, and all the other stuff. I've seen a lot of different Oranos players playing this one, and I just keep looking at it going, man, there's just so much stuff that is seemingly so strong that I'm not seeing being done in this specific matchup. Now, I've seen other Oranos matchups and being like, wow, they're playing this one really, really well, and it makes Oranos look really, really strong. But yeah, this idea of just using chaos in this way, getting a light raid early on and confirming villager kills with shockwave is really, really strong. If your opponent gets caught out of position, even just slightly, which is going to be very easy because they've got many different places to defend and you've got a Caladri or two to scout out where all the villagers are, you're going to be able to hit that raid fairly consistently. So in the end here, I feel like Oranos is in a good spot. I think that it's S tier. I think it's as good as Isis and Ra at the very, very top level. This is not an easy god to play. So it's like, it's good, it's really strong, but you have to play it at a very high level. And part of me loves this because it's like a really easy god at the low levels. It's going to kind of suck at the mid levels and it's going to be really, really good at the top level. So I love that this is kind of the way that Oranos is working, even if it's frustrating for me personally to play against, but it's not about my experience. It's fun to play Oranos when you get it. I recommend you guys giving Oranos a go and seeing how you go and using some of these tricks to find some wins against some of the more hard matchups. I recommend watching Kavoth, Rappel, Recon even, playing some Oranos to get some more ideas in the Oranos versus Egyptian matchup, which I do feel like is very playable. So yeah, go and check those out. If you guys enjoy this type of post commentary, don't forget to hit a comment, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.